Hey folks, welcome to the current Auman Landscape YouTube channel situation here. It's the day after Thanksgiving, so this is pretty close to real time, depending on when this gets released here in the next day or two. I'm gonna do a quick shop tour, show you around here, show you what we've been up to, and go from there. So first change here, we got a little, so we won at an auction for a charity fundraiser 10 yards of concrete, and back in the spring, and we ended up with finally getting a hold of that because there's cement shortages in our area. And again, cement is the element that binds concrete together, remember that. So we got our 10 yards that we bought, and it was, you saw a video on that I think a while ago. This is how the thing turned out. I finally got my control lines in here. We went every, what was it, 10 foot 9, which matched the building there. And then I cut a middle one down through here in the dark. So it looks like Helen Keller cut it, but it's fairly straight. But I wanted to break that up, of course, so we don't have concrete breakage. Because if I don't, match those lines in there, that line, it will break. If I were to saw cut over here, this concrete will break from here because it's doweled in all through here, so it'll break over to there. So we want to honor those lines. So that's done. A few other things. Started working on getting a yard. So we had all this giant #2 stone, which is just hell on these truck tires. Which actually, look at the shadowing on that thing. These tires need rotated, something terrible. Oh, there's so much to do, folks. Oh, geez. But we started moving in some recycled aggregate here, some dense grade stuff. Always got to be watching for this. That's the worst thing about all this recycled materials. There's little bits of rebar or wire mesh in there. So we got this recycled asphalt or millings or whatever, which I think is what we're gonna actually go dress this whole yard with. It'll look pretty good. That black on black theme looks really good. And then this is some recycled concrete, which has got a heavy sandstone content to it, as best I can gather, because golly, it's awfully dark, or tan, when generally it's going to be this color more so, or it's really dirty. It's got a lot of dirt in it. So I wasn't super impressed with this last load of recycle, but I think ultimately we're going to end up pushing this recycled asphalt over top everything, because you can see it gets, even that's good like looking recycled concrete there. So we got that stretched out. We're getting our #2s covered up with it. This whole yard area, we just, as you saw, probably our spoils pile finally is out of here, and we still somehow have no room. It's just crazy how much space gets eaten up so fast. I've got excess material, stuff that needs to leave. Here's over-ordered limestone coping. Gosh darn it. 3 pieces over on the job, so that's frustrating to over-order. To sit here and die. Little shed we're building for Ziggy. They got blown over in the wind. My wood miser sawmill here, the wind blew through here and took the tarp off of it, whatever. Anyways, all these areas, all this stuff is kind of what you can see. So priority right now at the moment is we've got drywallers coming on Tuesday, supposedly, we'll see. And depending, they don't have any other hang-ups. So they're coming on Tuesday. So the things we got to finish right now are all the prep for stuff that's going to be buried in drywall. And that is a few last minute plumbing tweaks and insulation where we want it this for sound deadening. Also, some of our bulk supplies are kind of taking residency there, which is cool. The idea is ultimately this is going to be a pass around so guys aren't backing in. This is a terrible time suck. And perfect world, the layout would be different so that trucks could spin around in here, but it's not the case. But we're gonna make this a pass around eventually, so I get all that crap out of the way out there. That's that. I put a bunch of recycled up against the building here to help insulate it. You'll see what we got going on there. Here in the shop, there's PAP. We're trying to hunt down a leak in our vent system there. So whatever, but dealing with that. I got my welder out here, and I've got to replace a couple of the lead wires because they're all corroded. That's Britt's grandpa's old welder there. The old 843's got an oil leak from a few lines that are busted in it, so we're going to redo that. This is all going to be cleared out because December 13th we're having in-person training starting here, so we got a lot to do in a short amount of time, but we're going to get it. Thanks to Unilock GPS Track at Steiner, sponsoring Unilock with the Hardscape Academy, and then Steiner and GPS Track It, just general sponsors here of the channel, so helping us take the time to get this stuff out to you, so hopefully it's informative. Britt got her doors, and her mom got these doors painted. That's gonna be cool because we'll be able to start hanging those next week once drywall's done. That's pretty wild. We've got a, let's see here, what do we got going on? So our kitchen area, it's cool, it's taking shape, love it. Brought the rugs over from the house, finally got them out. Well, we've got all this insulation in here, and I don't know what latest shop tour we did, but you can hear my sound, you can hear the audio change as I walk in this room with all this sound deadening. So this is a conference room. We want this to be really quiet, obviously, in here and dead from the shop. So what we've got to get done for drywall, because these offices are getting drywalled in. So we've got to today get this drywall, or get this rock wool insulation, which is pretty cool. Safe and sound. So it's fire retardant and sound deadening. Sound deadening is the main thing we're looking for. So we'll get all these two rooms totally wrapped up in here. So it's quiet. Might end up wrapping up the kids' office too. We'll see. A few other things here. Again, tons of rock wool everywhere. This, the podcast studio here. Again, big thanks to Company Cam as our lead sponsor on the Company Cam studios here for Kid Contractor Podcast. But we also, you can see our plumbing lines here are running through. We got insulation on those to reduce or prevent condensation. HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning lines are run. Pat did an awesome job on that. And then our ducts for cold air returns, we're going to use these channels in these I-beams, because this is going to get painted black this weekend too. It's going to be a really hardcore weekend, folks, because we got to be ready for drywallers. So we had to pass our plumbing inspection first. So that was like the big deal, because we can't bury anything till that's done. Although most of this can be buried because there's no plumbing in here. But like this area out here, we're going to paint this underside all black so it looks like a Chipotle or you know, modern industrial whatever, like lobby. And we're gonna paint all that black so it looks like the underside of a Chipotle restaurant, which is cool. Those two offices are getting drywall, and so that's why that stuff's all got to get run and buried. But we're treating these channels in some reserved places or specific places as the cold air return, so, or warm air return, depending on how we're organizing it. But we're gonna take that, and that'll get painted black. It's gonna look awesome, and leave all the exposed infrastructure on the bottom side. And then also where the wires pass through, taking spray foam and sealing that off again. So just super cool. Here's our open concept work area. Hunter editor is going to have a space here, and then another open space here for guys. Let's see here. Okay, that's interesting. Got some insulation bats up in there. I guess we are going to seal that off, come to think of it. We'll show you that in a second here. But again, the King and Queen's offices here, looking real good. I got this doorway header finally in for Britt's sliding barn doors. Not some of my finest carpentry work, but it's in there. So yeah, and then also the next real big thing is we've got our heating, our floor heating, and big thanks to Rocky Fork got in, got us done. And Northeast Ohio Gas got in, got us done. So thank you guys, appreciate that. I was getting a little nervous about the building getting cold. I got down to like 45 one night on a 16 or 13 degree evening, and I didn't know how much lower it was going to go because I have water. I have water in our pressure tank up there and all that. So that was a little concerning, but I think overall we'd never got down to freezing. But I was starting to get nervous. So, but anyways, this is our heating and our floor heating system, which is super cool. System. So all these lines run down through here.
We've got,
so this is what it looked like.
And I got a form in here for the edge of our concrete. It's going to be a little deeper here for the
all that Lego stuff support. Is under here.
The mezzanine.
Which then you can see.
Looking good, ready for concrete. Should, I think you're.
And, but then over here you can see where that manifold is. So these lines run all through that Lego stuff, and then we poured concrete over top of it, which was crazy. Further story back in the YouTube channel. But these are our return lines, so that water cycles through here, comes up. This is just an elevation gauge. Gets sucked into here, run through this pump, which is what's doing the sucking action, of course. Pulling up in here, getting heated by natural gas, wonderful, blessed natural gas, and then returned out to get mixed back into this system, into this line, to throw out, you know, anywhere from 50 to 100 degree water. So it's satisfied right now. It's happy with it. Thinks it's 65 degrees in this corner back here, which is cool. I'm gonna bump it up to 66 real quick. Really simple system, on off switch. So there we go, we're kicking on. And so now it's cycling in water from, or it's water with a little bit of glycol in it or some sort of antifreeze. And so now it's pulling on this closed loop system, run up through, so that water's coming up in here, up over, getting heated up in this heating element, back down, and then cycling back through. And you'll see this gauge climb as we start to run water through there. So it's going out at 120, it's set. So this is a cool system. This is a cool thing of this system. So it's coming in at 71, so the pipes are a little cool. We've seen it as high as 85 in 90 coming in out of the floor system. And then of course we're trying to send it out at 121 right now. So in our flow, it should be anywhere between 2.8 and 3 gallons per minute. Or I'm sorry, if it gets down to that, then that means this filter is clogged and we need to take it out. It's just a little screen mesh filter. And so that's a good indicator of how the flow is doing. So that being said, cool. Our water level here is a little low. It's kind of interesting. Oh, it blew out over the. Interesting. I wonder what that means. So it blew out a little bit. I thought it was kind of low because usually the thing was hovering here, but apparently it got so warm that it, I'm not going to say boiled over, but that's really interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. So we'll need to keep an eye on it. They said we'll need to add about a pint. Yeah, it definitely feels like antifreeze in there. Holy crap, all slimy. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, other than that, what else? A few other things. Got this area cleaned up a little bit. Some things hanging here. Yeah, so anyways, that's the shop progress at the moment. And I'm trying to think what else is going on. That's it. So quick shop update here. We have a thing called the Podcast Summit going to be here January 28th. So us, the Kid Contractor Podcast, LCR Media Podcast, and the Green Industry Podcast here broadcasting. And if you want to come and travel to the shop, you're welcome to come. And it's just going to be a day of interviewing people on podcasts. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's not the official grand opening of the place. Anyways, that's all that, folks. So I think that's it for shop update that I can think of right now. Oh, we did get the Christmas lights up. Whoop-de-doo. So that's cool. It actually looks really cool. I will show you something. We learned this from Rory at Patriot Lawn Care. Always picking this stuff up. Just drive you crazy trying to keep up with all this stuff. Let's see here. Oh, but these lights on magnetics. Oh my gosh. That is the only way to do that on a steel building. Like, holy goodness, that is just wonderful. So you just slap them right up there. It's great. So that's definitely the way to apply Christmas lights. Super cool. So with that being said, I think that's kind of the shop update for the moment. Appreciate you following along here. And we'll catch you on the next one here, folks. We'll see you. When you're setting these in, the click and drop method is, we just want to get it in there, click and drop, and we just keep going.